Hello everyone. Today's video dives into the most consequential global conflict unfolding right now, the full-scale military confrontation between the United States, Israel, and Iran. This isn't a local clash, it's reshaping geopolitics, economics, and security around the world. 2. Why this matters. In late February 2026, a major military campaign began when the United States and Israel launched coordinated assaults on Iranian targets. This marked one of the most dramatic escalations between Tehran and Washington in decades, with strategic goals that include dismantling Iran's missile capabilities, nuclear ambitions, and influence in the region. 3. Timeline of the conflict, 2-5. Let's go through the key events day by day. 28th of February, if you're ready. Joint U.S.-Israel strikes hit military, command, and nuclear-related facilities in Iran, including the killing of Iran's supreme leader and senior officials. 1 to 2nd of March, Iran begins widespread retaliatory missile and drone attacks on U.S. bases across the Gulf states and missile salvos toward Israel. 3 to 4th March, heavy bombardment continues over Iranian cities like Tehran and Qom. Explosions rock civil infrastructure. Water and power systems suffer damage. 4 to 5th of March, a U.S. submarine torpedoes an Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka, representing a significant escalation beyond the Middle East. Today, day 6, Iranian strikes hit U.S. bases in Iraq, Qatar, and elsewhere. Missile intercepts are confirmed, protests erupt inside Iran, and intense fighting continues across multiple fronts. Nurse number 4. Breakdown of military actions, 5-8. On the battlefield, U.S. and Israeli air campaigns have targeted Iranian missile sites, defense systems, and key infrastructure. Iran is responding with missiles and drones striking U.S. assets and nearby countries, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, and Iraq. Hezbollah and allied militias are engaging Israeli forces in Lebanon and along the northern border. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil choke point, has seen shipping disruptions and threats to commercial tankers. These dimensions make this not just a bilateral war, but a full regional conflict affecting multiple nations. 5. Political responses and debates. 8 to 11. Back in the United States, political leaders are sharply divided. The Senate blocked a resolution aimed at limiting the president's war powers, with Republicans largely supportive of continued military action. So now, critics argue that launching war without clearer objectives or broad support risks dragging the U.S. into a prolonged and costly campaign. Iran's UN ambassador called the U.S. attack totally stupid and a betrayal of diplomatic negotiations that were underway. Tehran is framing its response as defense, saying Iran was attacked while talks on limiting nuclear and missile programs were in progress. This political dimension adds complexity, with global leaders, diplomats, and regional powers split on how to respond. 6. Regional repercussions, 11-14. The war's effects are felt across the Middle East. Gulf states, U.S. bases in Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait have been targeted. Lebanon, heavy exchanges between Hezbollah and Israeli forces threaten to widen the conflict northward. Iraq, Iran-aligned militias have struck bases and are preparing potentially coordinated operations. Oil and trade routes. With the Strait of Hormuz disrupted, global energy prices are volatile and shipping insurers are reacting. The war isn't contained. It's reshaping security dynamics from North Africa to Central Asia. Economic and global impacts. Global markets are watching. Energy prices have surged amid fears of prolonged disruptions to oil exports. Insurance and shipping sectors are adjusting premiums due to instability in the Gulf. Investors are tracking defense industry stocks and risk benchmarks. Analysts warn that a prolonged war could have broader economic consequences far beyond the region, including inflationary pressure on energy costs worldwide. 8. Human cost and civilian impact, 16-18. This is not just geopolitics, it's about people's lives. Iranian state figures report over 1,000 killed from bombing campaigns. Civilians in Iran and across the region face displacement, infrastructure losses, and daily danger. Protests inside Iran show both anger and fear as cities endure consecutive nights of bombardment. The humanitarian toll is rising, and recovery will be a long and difficult process, even after hostilities are resolved. Question 9. Future scenarios, 18 to 1930. Where is this headed? Experts outline several possible paths. 1. Prolonged war, U.S. cap, and Israeli campaigns continue for weeks, depleting munitions and resources. 2. Wider regional escalation. More countries or militia groups join the conflict. 3. Evolving conflict between the United States and Iran. Set the context. Over the past week, tensions between the United States, Iran, and Israel have escalated into open military conflict. A joint military campaign by the U.S. and Israel, known internally by names like Operation Epic Fury and Operation Lion's Roar, began on February 28, 2026, after weeks of failed negotiations and mounting threats. What has happened so far? U.S. and Israeli forces have launched widespread air and missile strikes inside Iran, targeting ballistic missile sites, air defenses, and command infrastructure. Iran has responded with missile and drone attacks against U.S. diplomatic and military targets across the Gulf region, including bases and embassies. Casualties are mounting. State media reports thousands killed in Iran, and several U.S. service members have died. A U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship far from the Middle East, a rare escalation beyond regional waters. Regional impact. The conflict isn't contained to Iran and the Gulf. Iran has targeted facilities in Bahrain and other nearby countries, and there are reports of strikes affecting shipping in strategic waterways like the Strait of Hormuz. This critical choke point handles a large share of global oil exports, so disruptions there are driving global energy price volatility. Diplomatic angle and divisions. At the same time, diplomatic efforts were underway before the fighting, with talks in Switzerland and Oman aiming at nuclear and security agreements. But they yielded no major breakthrough, and soon after this, the military campaign kicked off. International reactions are mixed. Some nations have voiced opposition to the conflict, and there are disputes even among traditional U.S. partners about the use of foreign bases for the military campaign. Political and strategic context. U.S. leaders say the campaign aims to degrade Iranian missile and nuclear capabilities. But critics, both domestic and international, question the legality and long-term impact of such an expansive military action. Meanwhile, Iran's leadership has framed the conflict as resistance to foreign aggression, and Iranian military forces are actively engaging on multiple fronts. Why this matters? This conflict has huge implications for regional stability in the Middle East, global energy markets, international law, and diplomatic relations worldwide. The fighting shows no sign of stopping yet, and the possibility of broader escalation remains a major concern for global security. Conclusion: stay tuned. This situation is ongoing and changing fast. If you want updates or deeper analysis, let me know in the comments and subscribe for future videos. All right, everyone. That's the latest update on the developing situation between the United States and Iran. This story is still unfolding, and the global impact could be huge. I'll continue bringing you the latest updates, analysis, and important news from around the world. If you found this video helpful and want to stay informed about major global events like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Also, share this video with your friends so more people can understand what's happening right now. And if you have any thoughts about this conflict, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion. Thanks for watching, stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.